guys. So I have to apologize ahead of time because it is like, I don't know even what time it is, like 5:30 in the morning, and I just decided to do this video because I can't sleep anyways. I've been awake since, I don't know, like 1 a.m. maybe, I don't know. So I just thought I'd go ahead and talk to you guys. I have my light ring, my do-it-yourself light ring in front of me, so hopefully you can see because I'm in my room, and I apologize. No makeup, just me. But last night was hard. I'm very much missing him, so you'll excuse my bun, my blue bun. And yeah, I need to touch up on my hair, but anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys. If you aren't a subscriber to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you did. And just so you know, I say a lot, and I don't mean to, but it's when I'm gathering my thoughts sometimes that I'll do that, so I apologize ahead of time. I want to talk to you though about grieving, because that's what I'm doing right now. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, I've only made one video. I've actually made about 10, but I haven't put them up yet because there's always something wrong. I don't look good, or I'm saying too much, or I don't know if I really have a point. But today I just decided it doesn't matter if I have a point, because maybe somebody out there is feeling the same way that I'm feeling. So in the wee hours of the morning, you know, and I apologize, I'm shooting this from my cell phone, so it's not going to be the best quality, but it is what it is. So yeah, so last night, I don't know why, I just started missing him so very badly. Well, yeah, I do know why. I miss him on a daily basis, so it's not just last night. But for those of you that don't know me, or haven't subscribed to my channel, my 14-year-old son, Christian, in October 2017, was diagnosed with stage 4 osteosarcoma, which is bone cancer. He started complaining about pain in his right leg, and of course, being 14, we thought it was growing pains, but it wasn't. But here's how it happened. So he started complaining about his leg hurting, and then took him to the doctor, and the doctor said, let's do an x-ray, you know, just to check, but it's probably growing pains because he's a teenager and he's a boy, and I'm very tall. I'm 6 foot tall. My oldest son is 6'1". So just figured that's what it was. Nicholas had growing pains. I had growing pains when I was young. So yeah, just thought it was that. And so x-ray came back, you know, with a lesion, they said. Didn't think it was anything, but let's go for an MRI just to be on the safe side. So went for MRI. His dad took him, my ex-husband, who I'm very much friends with. I really appreciate his friendship and his girlfriend's friendship, and that'll be more on that later. I'll go into detail about that because I think it's very important. A lot of the family dynamics and things that you really start realizing what's important and what's not. So anyway, his dad took him for an MRI, and it was like at night, one night, Wednesday night I think, and the very next morning at 8 o'clock, when the pediatrician's office opened, I got a phone call from one of the girls there, and she said that his doctor wanted to see him, wanted to see me to discuss his results, and could I come in about 2 o'clock. Now, he's been going to the same pediatrician for years, and they have always told me test results over the phone. So when she said that, I was already putting clothes on, And Trinity, stop. My cat is scratching at the door. Trinity, stop. Anyways, I'm not going to edit this, so just so you know, that's what that is. I don't have rats or anything. Hey, stop. So anyway, sorry. She just doesn't usually do that. It's weird. So anyway, I said, I'm coming now. So it was 8 o'clock, and I drove over there. I don't have any idea what I was wearing. I probably didn't match. Doesn't matter. I mean, my point is I just jumped in the car and went. And they took me and put me in a room, like a regular patient room, and said, he'll be with you in a minute. He's with the patient. And I said, okay. So I sat there, and that was probably the longest 10-minute wait. You know, when you're waiting for something that you know is going to be bad, that's the longest wait of your life. Anyways, fast forward. I go into the office. I'd never been in his office before, and he has 2 of his assistants, the sweetest people you could be, including him, in his office. And he tells me that the person that reads the MRIs, the doctor, called him at home last night and said that we needed to get Christian to Wolfson's immediately. There was a mass. All I heard was mass. And then they kept saying things and handing me papers and telling me to go pick him up from school and to take him right away to Wolfson's. And it was kind of a blur. I have no idea what they said, what the words were. I just remember starting to cry, and then I asked them, could I go out the back door, because I didn't want to scare any of the children that were in the waiting room. And they asked me if I'd be okay, and I said, yeah. I'm going to sit in the parking lot for a second. And I don't remember walking to my car. It wasn't a long walk. But I remember sitting in that car and thinking, this is not happening. It is just not happening. Sorry. But it was. So I couldn't talk, really. I was trying to look at the papers, but I couldn't see them because I was crying. So I texted his dad, and I texted Ashley, his dad's girlfriend. I told them to meet me at the hospital. But I sat there for a few more minutes until I straightened up, and I was like, okay, I have to do this. I have to go get him. So I would fast forward, pick him up at school. This kid, 30 minutes I'm waiting in the office, and I'm like, finally when this kid gets there, I'm like, where were you? Because I'm in agony, and he doesn't know anything. And he's like, oh, I was looking for something, and typical teenager, you know. So he's like, where are we going? And I was like, we got to go do some more tests, honey. He's like, I just had a test last night. I'm like, yeah, but they want to run some more, so I didn't cry. And then I met up with Ashley and Tom at the hospital. And then they went ahead and did some more tests and blood work, and then they asked us to go into a room across the hall, and they brought a chaplain in. Didn't see that coming. Ashley and I looked at each other like, why is he here? And I'm usually not rude, but I asked him, I'm like, why are you here? Is my child dying? And they were like, no, for support. And I'm like, okay, they could have preferenced that because, you know, chaplain's already here. Anyways, they told us that they saw a mass and they needed to admit him right away so they could do more tests. And then there was no going home. They said it was cancer, that they thought it was, they were positive it was cancer, but I don't know, it was a blur what they said. And then Tom went and told Christian, and he took it well, much better than the rest of us. And he said, okay. So, like I said, there was no going home. We, like, just got admitted, and he had bone scans and MR. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Bone scans and MRIs and more blood work, and then they told us the results of the scans, and he had stage 4, just going in. He had a grapefruit-sized mass on his right pelvis and 2 tumors in his lungs, 1 in each lung. And then they explained treatment options and all kind of things that we didn't know. So the next step was a needle biopsy of his pelvis to see for sure. There's a couple of different strains, if you're not familiar with cancer of the bone, which I totally wasn't. For children, usually, it could either be what's called Ewing sarcoma or osteosarcoma. And they were 98% sure it was osteosarcoma, but they did the biopsy to be sure. First time he'd ever been put under. He was so scared. I was scared, but trying to be there for him. So did the biopsy. Yes, it was osteosarcoma. And they decided to do a lung biopsy because they wanted to make sure of how the mass was in his lungs. I don't remember all the details. I really don't. It all happened so fast. So then second surgery, they took out one of the masses in his lungs and biopsied it and said, yes, it's most definitely osteosarcoma. So they started him on treatment. And the treatment was the strongest chemo that you can have. So it was awful. And I'll go more into detail about the chemo later. I can't do it right now. So fast forward to where I am right now. He went through the chemo, strongest that they had. Didn't touch it. Actually, the tumors doubled in size. He went from 2 in his lungs to 40, and the one in his pelvis doubled from grapefruit size, so you can imagine. At that point, you couldn't really see it, like he didn't have like a baseball look or anything, or basketball, or I don't know what size that would be, but you couldn't really tell. But then again, he's 14, he didn't let us look at his pelvis that often anyways, you know. So anyways, so we went through a long drawn out treatment for that, and then they said it wasn't working, so they said, okay, there's an experimental chemo. At the beginning, we had him genetically tested. Insurance doesn't cover it, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a child with cancer, have them genetically tested, because if you don't, your options are limited. Because there are experimental drugs that are genetically targeted at certain cells, which is what happened in our case. So they said, we have this drug, and it's, you know, it'll target one of the mutated cells, and it won't destroy it, but it will, the hope is that it will stop it from replicating. So with that chemo, you could go home. And one of the side effects of that chemo, which we thought was totally cool and Christian didn't care for, was his hair grew back in, because it obviously fell out with the normal chemo, but it came back white. I'm talking about Billy Idol cotton top white, and we thought it was beautiful, but of course he's 14, he didn't like it. So yeah, I'll get into the happier parts of that later. But so we did the experimental chemo, and it did stop it for a while. I think pretty much it bought us time, and they knew. They try to put it delicately when you have a child, but they introduced hospice. They call it something else, like complementive care, something like that. Basically, they try to make it sound like, you know, everything's gonna be okay, as far as we know. But they know, you know. And at that point, just so you know, at that point, there's no other options. Nobody else will take your child if they're deemed unresponsive to treatment. St. Jude won't take them. I know everybody loves St. Jude, and I did too, and I gave money to them for many years, but the truth of the matter is, how they have that great success rate is, if your child is terminally ill and they're not responsive to treatment, they don't take them. So that was out. So I ain't hating on them. I mean, they're still helping other children, but just, you know, that was that for us. There was no going to Mexico. There was no going to Mott's. There was no other alternatives for us. So we did the chemo, and it did, you know, it did work. But he started having hallucinations on it really, really bad. That's a whole nother, I can't talk about that now either. But we had to take him down off that because of a lot of the side effects. He was taking 3 of those a day. We took him down to 1. And then we got our boy back. He was still in pain, still couldn't walk, pretty much in a wheelchair all the time. He did walk with crutches for a little bit, but in a walker, but that didn't last very long because he was very weak. He was on so much pain medicine. It was painful to watch. But yeah, we had some happy times. We made some things happen, and well, other people mainly made things happen for him, which I'm eternally grateful for. But at the end of the day, he didn't make it, and September 17th he passed away. And I miss him so much. Every single second of every single day. And I'm trying to get through it. And some days are better than others. But some days are like yesterday and this morning, not so much. And when you have other things going on, that normal life things, like I got a gum issue, I have bad teeth and gums. It's my own fault. Just take care of your teeth and gums. Floss, trust me. I'm 51 years old and probably not gonna have my teeth much longer. Well, I'm not gonna put that out there in the universe. I'm gonna have great teeth. They're just gonna be different than the ones I have, probably. But I don't know why I said that. Anyway, when you have other things going on in your life that are not, you know, that are stressful and not so happy, then a lot of times, you know, it just kind of amplifies everything. So, yeah. But, I just wanted to make this video, and this has turned into a long, drawn-out video, so I'm going to end it, and I'll have some more videos about his journey and things that I think that will help you if you're going through this, because you're not alone. I wish you were. Well, I didn't mean it that way. I wish I was alone in this. I wish you, if you have a child that has cancer, or anyone in your family, I wish everybody didn't have to experience this. I wish I was making this video just to tell you what I went through and that you never have to go through it ever. But if you are going through it, I don't want you to take away from this that your child's gonna die. It does not mean that. Had we not had that experimental drug, I honestly don't believe we would have had almost a year. I think it would have been a matter of months. And I've been told from medical people since he passed that did not want to say anything, obviously, while he was still here. That is what their perspective was that he only had a few months. So, yeah, it bought us time. And those memories I wish he wasn't in so much pain. I wish he could have done more, but there's days that I'll never regret spending with him. So there is hope. But what I've learned is now I have a hole in my heart, obviously, and I'm learning how to deal with that. And it's not living your life like you were before. It's like revamping your life so you can live in it now. Because there's a constant hole that you walk around all day long. There's a quote by somebody that says something to that effect. Like, there's a hole that you walk around all day long. Can't remember who said this, sorry. I'll try to find out and give credit in the link below, but there's a hole that you walk around constantly all day, and at night you fall into the black hole, and then you're in hell. And that's so true. But you wake up every morning, and somebody, whether you feel like living or not, somebody is depending on you. I mean, even if you don't have other kids, even if you're not married. I'm not. I do have another child. I mean, he's 20. But somebody somewhere is waiting for you to wake up and to be in their day or in their life. So you can't not keep going. You have to keep going. That's the only way we're going to make it through. And learning how to live through grief is going to help someone else, as long as you share what you're going through. And everybody grieves differently. I am a crier. I've always been a crier. I cry at Publix commercials. I cry when people die that I don't know. So that is me. I've always been a crier. Hence the big bags underneath that eyes. But that's okay. Some people don't talk, and that's okay. Some people try to keep so very busy that they don't have time to think about it, and that's okay, because everybody grieves differently. So don't let anybody tell you how to grieve. Like, well, it's been a year, it's been 4 years, you should be over it by now. You're never going to get over it, be it a child or anybody else. I mean, I do feel like with your children, obviously everybody will say this, they're not supposed to die before you do. And so yeah, it does. I mean, whether you miscarry or you've actually lost a child that you were raising, it is going to be the hardest sorrow you've ever had. But helping others through it is what I hope to do. Not that this video is so upbeat or anything, but I mean, if you feel like you ever need to talk, or somebody to cry with, or you don't want to talk and you just want to cry, I'm your girl. My other cat, Kyrie, you're gonna break my flower vase. Oh my gosh. They think I'm talking to them because I'm talking to you. I guess cats don't understand when you're on the phone or you're doing a video, and so they get down from there. So they keep trying to get my attention because I'm not looking at them, but I'm talking. It figures. I mean, why would they know who I'm talking to? But anyway, I'm going to end this video because I'm already like 20 minutes in. But I do mean, if you feel like you need to reach out and talk to somebody that knows what you're going through, I'm here. I hope to do some more upbeat videos, but then again, I might do some videos that I just sit here and early in the morning and cry and don't have any makeup on. And if you could stand to look at me and listen to me, then I'll be here for you. If you have any tips about getting through grief, I'd be more than open to hear them. I hope that everybody has a lovely day, and I hope that this helps somebody, or at least you feel like you're not alone and it's okay to be you, and don't let anybody else tell you it's not. So please subscribe to my channel if you will. Hit the like button if you like this video. I don't know if this is a video that you can say, wow, I really liked that video. It's not happy and upbeat. It's not a DIY, but I'll have some of those for you. But yeah, if you want to hang with me for a while, that'd be great. Alright, so I'll see you guys later. Love and kisses.